Hey everybody. Okay. Gary Lucas, and this is the 66th concert given out of my apartment since lockdown. And I had some very sad news communicated to me yesterday, namely that my dear friend Pierre Ruiz, who ran a visionary Italian label called Ezor Disco, had passed away very tragically in a mountain climbing accident in Sardinia. And this is doubly sad because the day that this happened was actually the 26th anniversary of the release of the Grace album. And Pierre had had the foresight and vision to get behind a project of mine, namely new studio recordings of all 12 songs that I composed with Jeff Buckley. Most people know Grace and Mojo Pin, which are the first two songs on the Grace album of Jeff's. But in fact, I wrote a dozen, some of which came out on a Knitting Factory compilation of early work called Songs to No One. But then there were still these 5 songs that have never come out officially in any format, that have been bootlegged from here to eternity, that I wrote with Jeff, which I think are damn good. And I'm really proud of the work. So Pierre enabled me to realize this dream project of mine by bringing in a fantastic Italian vocalist known as the Nero, Davide Combusti, and his friend, a great keyboardist, guitarist, multi-instrumentalist, and producer, Francesco Arpino. And together we made this record in Rome right before Christmas 2018, entitled The Complete Jeff Buckley and Gary Lucas Songbook. And I totally recommend it. I'm going to hold it up here. I think now that I'm doing these things with a tripod, and you can read this cover accurately, but maybe you need a microscope, I don't know. It's a really nice package, and check it out. I think it's among the best work I've ever done, and these guys really rose to the occasion, and Pierre was instrumental in realizing it. Plus, as the executive producer, he was there, and he goaded some of my best performances out of me. You know, he was there for the takes. And he'd say things like, I think you can play this even wilder or better, crazier. You know, I like a producer like that. So he kept me on my toes, and we had a lot of fun recording at Francesco's apartment studio in the outskirts of Rome, and then also at Mob Studios in the city center. So anyway, to hear the news that Pierre has passed away is just shattering to me. It's been a hell of a year, has it not? And this is just one more tragedy. But I thought to turn this concert over to a tribute to Pierre and play some of the music instrumentally from that album. Okay, so. was for Pierre. Yeah, appropriately mournful. I'm kind of shattered by the news, but anyway, I want to remain a bit upbeat here because I think that when people pass, it is tragic, but the good deeds that they do live on after them, as it says in Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. Anyway, one hopes. And I want to thank these people who were so generous in their contributions. Doug Sloan, thank you so much. Doug just got a download of my new digital single, She's a Rainbow, the Rolling Stones classic. Available to anybody here who shoots me $20 through PayPal. Jim Lapidus, he went above and beyond the Call of Duty there. Jim is an old friend. I go back to summer camp with him. Yes, happy memories of Camp Kennebec in Maine, and Jim was also at Yale. Hank Frisch, my old friend from Shaker Heights, who I played with in the Obegon band, this Taiwanese proto-punk ensemble that I led in 1975 and 76 in Taipei, reading all about this new scene in New York and the Hit Parader magazine I would get from the PX, a rock scene magazine, Danny Fields magazine. Thank you, Hank. Robert Munn, my depthography friend who creates these fantastic 3D album covers of classic rock albums such as Satanic Majesty's Request. Thank you, Robert. Mitch Blank, the only sane Dylanologist. He's my good friend and neighbor down the street. Dave Schultz, a great writer for Trouser Press, who are back in business. Thank you, Dave. He's another one he scored a copy of She's a Rainbow. And Mark Green, my student out there in Wisconsin, who has been a great patron of my guitar tutelage. And just to say that I am available, I have very competitive rates to any guitarists out there who'd like to tackle the Jeff Buckley, Gary Lucas songbook, for instance, or anything else I did, Captain Beefheart, what have you, or anything off the 30-plus albums I've released as a leader. Yeah. Okay, so let's see now. While I'm in this little tuning, I'm going to do a number called Cruel, which is on Songs to No One, but we really revved it up for the complete Jeff Buckley and Gary Lucas songbook under Pierre's tutelage. This is the one he said to play really crazy at the end. I can't really accompany myself in the way I'm set up here to do it, even with these loopers. So you'll just have to imagine that passage. But this is a good one. We used to open our sets with this. Okay. Let's see. So Cruel. It's still one of my favorite songs that we did, and yeah, we used to open our sets with this. And in fact, some grunge band in Seattle made a cover of this when Songs to No One came out. I forget who, but yeah, it was a reasonable effort. The fact is, I had a great time playing this with these guys, namely the Nero, Davide Composti and Francesco Arpino, on tour in Italy in December, thanks to Luca Zanotti, my longtime Italian agent. He hooked up, I don't know, we did about 8 or 9 shows all over, very long driving days, 8 or 9 hours, sometimes 10, all up and down the Boot and elsewhere. It was a lot of fun, and we had some great shows in front of some great audiences. I also recall playing this with Gods and Monsters as the house band in Australia about 3-4 years ago as part of a tribute to both Tim and Jeff Buckley entitled State of Grace. And this was something that my friend Jeff Apter, who wrote a very good book called A Pure Drop, all about Jeff, he helped concoct this tribute, and also we had great cooperation from Gaynor Crawford, who is an agent publicist there, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking. It was great, but I remember doing this song particularly great with Cammy O'Sullivan singing, and she is an Irish singer, very theatrical, who's a friend of Martha Wainwright's, and she did an amazing vocal on this. It was fun because we came out of a clip of Jeff that came courtesy Mary Sear, who I want to give a shout out to now. Mary took the iconic picture of Jeff on the Grace album cover, and she has a book out called 25 Years of Grace, an anniversary tribute to Jeff Buckley's classic album, which I can wholeheartedly recommend, and gave a lot of people, Hal Wilner among them, my late friend, some space in the book, me, and it really gives a very good eyewitness account of how that record came together, so I would recommend that. I'd also recommend, I can't pick it up because I'm using it as a counterweight on this microphone, but there is a book called Jeff Buckley in His Own Voice, which is excerpts from Jeff's journals and diaries, and it makes for a very fascinating portrait of Jeff. I mean, some of it is incredibly private. I don't know, maybe you would not have been happy to see it come out, but whatever, it's out there, and you'll get some valuable insights if you're at all interested in him as an artist, and I'm sure you are if you're watching this show. Okay. So while we got a little time, I don't know, I might have to do a part 2 of this because there's so much else I could play and talk to you about, but I'm gonna play, and I'm switching guitars now, and I'm gonna do a version of one of my favorite songs, which came out as a song called Song to No One on the album of the same name on Knitting Factory, and we redid it and modernized it a bit for the complete Jeff Buckley, Gary Lucas songbook on Ezra Disco. Okay. Oops. Let's see there. that's the first song, the instrumental part that Jeff and I ever wrote. That was the very first song we wrote, right here on this stage. I was sitting in this same chair. Jeff was over on the couch over there. I can't really show that right now, but I just started to play this instrumental I had written. He grabbed a mic. He was going through this JC 120, the very same amp, and magic was made in the hour, a track called Bluebird Blues, and we jammed that for about 20 minutes. I have the whole thing in my archive. Anyway, I got a lot more to talk to you about, but the clock on the wall says it's time to go. Thanks so much for tuning in today. All I can say is Pierre Ruiz was one of the greats. I feel honored and lucky to have known him, and I'm so grateful that he rolled with my project. And I had suggested this to various other labels over the years. And he had the vision, man, which is what it takes. All you need is one believer. All right, I'll see you on Thursday. I'm going to do some more Jeff Buckley, Gary Lucas stuff. Love to you guys.